In the quiet town of Kanema, Sierra Leone, there was an old statue of a kind woman holding a baby. Every morning, Aminata passed the statue on her way to school. But late at night, some people in the town whispered a strange story. They said the statue cried tears under the moonlight. Aminata did not believe such stories at first. She lived with her older brother, Suleiman, and their mother. One evening, her grandmother told them an old tale about the crying statue. Grandmother said that long ago, the statue had been carved by a father for his lost child. The town believed the statue missed that child and sometimes shed tears. Aminata felt a shiver, but was also curious. She wondered. That night, as the moon rose over the palm trees, Aminata could not sleep. She heard a soft sound, like distant whispering. She quietly tiptoed to Suleiman's room and woke him. "Suleiman," she whispered, "do you hear that sound outside?" Suleiman sat up, rubbing his eyes. "What sound?" he asked softly. Aminata's heart beat fast. "I think it came from the statue outside," she said. Suleiman looked out the window. The night was warm and still. They heard the sound again. It was as if someone was crying in the distance. Suleiman held Aminata's hand. "Let's be brave," he said. They opened the door quietly and stepped onto the porch. The moon was bright, and the statue by the garden well stood silent. They crept closer. Aminata could see the statue's face clearly now. Its eyes were dark and smooth stone. But to her surprise, there were tiny drops on its cheeks that glistened in the moonlight. Tears! The statue was crying! Aminata's eyes widened, and her mouth made a soft gasp. Suleiman placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Suddenly, a soft voice came from the statue. It was sad and kind, almost like the voice of their grandmother telling tales. "Why are you crying?" Aminata asked in a trembling whisper. She had never heard a statue speak, but this felt like a dream. The voice answered, "My heart feels lonely and my child is missing." A cold breeze rustled the banana leaves nearby. Suleiman noticed footprints around the well. "Look, Aminata," he whispered. The footprints were small, like a child's shoe. "The statue's child must have wandered into the woods," Aminata said. They remembered the old story. The father carved the statue after the child vanished in the forest long ago. Gathering courage, the two children decided they must help. Hand in hand, they walked deeper into the night toward the dark forest near Kanema. The forest paths were narrow and overgrown. Strange sounds rustled in the bushes. Suleiman lit a small lantern, and Aminata held tight to a wooden staff. For a while there was silence. Then Suleiman said, "Maybe the statue's child needs us." They followed the prints through ferns and vines. A pair of glowing eyes appeared on a tree trunk and then vanished. Aminata felt a chill, but she squeezed Suleiman's hand and kept going. At last, the footprints ended near an old well in the forest. The well looked dark and deep. Under the moon, Aminata saw a small girl sitting by the well, hugging her knees. The little girl was crying quietly. Her clothes were dusty, and her eyes were filled with tears. "Hello?" Aminata called softly. "Are you lost?" The girl looked up. "I'm lost," she said in a small voice. "I followed a bird and got scared." Suleiman and Aminata sat beside her. Aminata gasped softly. "You're Husana, Bintu's little sister." The girl nodded, surprised. She had wandered away from her family's house in the nearby forest. "Your mother has been looking everywhere for you," Suleiman said kindly. The three children walked back through the forest, lantern lighting the path. When they neared Kanema, they saw Husana's family running up to them. Bintu hugged her little sister tightly and cried with joy that she was safe. The children told Husana's mother and Bintu about the statue and its tears. The mother smiled. "It seems the statue was crying because she was worried about Husana," she said. In that moment, the statue in Aminata's yard stopped shedding tears. Its face looked peaceful.